Oh, so you really just mad that I let somebody eat my puss? Like, that's what it is. You really just mad that I let a woman go down and chew the cat. It's your girl, TheKyannaSimone, and I am back on your screen. I am back on another video. As you can tell by today's title, I am telling you guys my coming out story. And if you know anything about me, anything about this channel, if you've been around for a long time, you know that each year for Pride Month, I retell my coming out story. This year will be the last year that I tell my coming out story, unless somebody like asks for it or something like that, blah, blah, blah. But I started doing this because I wanted to see how I would progress within telling my coming out story. If I would feel any different, look any different, if I, of course I won't look different because these have passed, but if I just felt different, if I was in a different headspace, if I still had the same negative mentality that I had all those years ago. And honestly, each year that I do this, I do feel better. I feel lighter. I feel free when I do it, because it just lets me know where I used to be and where I am now. And honestly, like, I couldn't ask for any kind of other growth in my life when it came to my coming out story. So if you do not know my coming out story, just stay tuned for the video and listen, because it is not a traditional happy coming out story. It's actually pretty crappy, but I'm gonna put a trigger warning right here. This is a trigger warning of abandonment. It is a trigger warning of like not having parents. I'm trying to think of what else, but just know that like my coming out story is not positive. So if you cannot take any negativity right now, this is the trigger warning for that. I am gonna do something different that I've never done in any of my other coming out stories, which is show you guys how I actually left the apartment, my mom's apartment back then when I was 26. And back then, for real, like when I retold the story, I never really told this part because I think a part of me was like, damn, I really did that. But then when I look at the pictures, I'm like, yeah, girl, you did that shit. And it's because I felt empowered in that moment, and I still feel empowered now when I look back at it, like, yes, you left the message and you left the mark. I ain't do nothing stupid crazy, but I do have some pictures that I want to show y'all. So let's just go, because let's just go, okay? All right, so the year was 2016. Let's set the scene, let's set the mood. It's 2016, and I just got out of a relationship in 2011. Now that I know that's mad long ago, but between 2011 and 2016, or maybe like 2015, I was really struggling with my sexuality, and I did not know what to do. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know if I was going to continue dating men, and I didn't know if I was going to continue dating women, or start to date women, not continue, excuse me. I didn't know if I was going to, you know, date women, because I didn't know how to act around women. I didn't know how to be, you know, in that kind of relationship with women, because I never had it before. But I knew that I always had some kind of connection with them. I knew that I always liked them. I knew that I always had crushes on them. I had more women crushes than I have male crushes. That is between like celebrities and even like people just seeing you walking down the street, regular people, all of that. It's always been women before men. And so in that time period, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do. Am I gonna continue to date men, if I'm gonna actually explore women and see if my sexuality with women is actually a thing, or if I'm just like fantasizing and making up in my head, right? So 2015 comes around, and I meet this girl, and instantly we click. It's cool. We start to chat and we start to talk and whatever. And of course, as you guys know, she eventually became my girlfriend. And within that time frame, I met her in 2015, and we like started to become official. We became official in January of 2016. And so I was like, damn, okay. So we probably did like 3 months of talking and then became official, something like that. Okay, cool. So after that, I realized I was really starting to like her, really starting to feel her, really starting to like fall in love with her almost. And I had not told my mom, had not told my family. You know, they don't even know I like women or nothing like that. They don't even know that that was a part of me that I had been struggling with. They just know you had a boyfriend and now you don't have a boyfriend, and it's been X amount of years since you had a boyfriend, right? And it wasn't normal to not have a boyfriend, because every like child in my family, like all my cousins, they I grew up in the church, so they kind of thing was, well, the person that you have, like the person that you meet, you gonna fall in love with that person, marry that person, and that's it. Like that should be their first and only partner, which is how it ended up with all my cousins, unless they had some other partner I didn't know about. But that's how it ended up with all my cousins. Like the partner that they brought to their mom and their dad is the partner that they end up marrying and having kids with. It wasn't uncommon for me not to have nobody in my life like that, but my mom's not religious like that, so she really didn't stress it or press it. But she never really asked like, yo, you talking to anybody, you date anybody? Because I really wasn't. Like, I really was not doing nothing within those 4 years. I didn't talk to nobody. I went on like one date and that didn't go well. So, you know, that was about it. I, you know, chatted with people here and there, but nothing until I met, you know, my girlfriend at the time. I meet her, we date, I'm falling off, blah, blah, blah. And we're planning Valentine's Day stuff together, and I know that my girlfriend has already told her family about me. She had told her parents, and they were like cool with her and stuff like that, and that inspired me to tell my mom. And she was like, you know, you don't have to do that. You don't, you know, don't feel like you have to tell her because I told my parents. And I'm like, I hear you, but we were really starting to move in a place where it felt real, it felt serious, and I wanted to tell my mom about her, and I wanted to tell my mom about who she was. And my mom is a cool mom, so it really don't matter. Like, it's gonna be brush up, brush up, rah. And so, and we were playing Valentine's Day, like I said. So because of that, we were going to be out for a couple days. Like, I wasn't gonna be home, and I was with my mom at the time, but I wasn't gonna be home. So I'm like, I'm gonna explain my absence. Like, when I'm gonna say, oh, I'm staying the night at a friend's house, like, I didn't want to lie. I'm like, I'm not a liar, so like, how was I gonna explain that? So that's when I had to tell her. So I was like, listen, I got something I gotta tell you. And she's like, what? And I couldn't bring myself to tell her. Like, I remember sitting on the hallway floor and just like could not tell her. And so she started like listing off things. Are you doing drugs? Are you pregnant? Are you seeing somebody? You about to go to jail? Like, mad shit. She just started listening. I'm like, no. And in my head, I'm just like, dang, is everything above what I'm about to say? Like, I guess I'm gonna just say it, and then, you know, she's gonna be cool, because everything she listened seemed terrible. So I'm like, all right. And so I tell her, I said, I have a girlfriend. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I have a girlfriend. And she looks confused. Like, who's the girl? What girl? Blah, blah, blah. Who's this girl? Have I met her before? Have I seen her before? Is it like my best friend at the time? And I was like, no, it's not her. It's the girl that was at the house. Because she had been at my house one time for New Year's. Like the month before, she was at the house for New Year's, because we were out hanging out for New Year's and we could not get a fucking Uber or nothing like that. And she was talking about she was gonna go all the way back home, but at this point it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, girl, just come back to my house. Like, you can leave from there. Like, this don't make no sense, because I live closer than she did. I was like, yeah, the girl that was at the house, blah, blah. And she was like, that white girl? And I'm like, yes, that girl. And she doesn't say anything. She kind of just like give me this look of like, wow, I never expect that from you. Like, I can't believe this, blah, blah, blah. And then she kind of just like walks off and like closes her room door and really doesn't say anything much. And then we don't speak. We don't say anything. And so I remember like going on vacation, not on vacation, but like to the hotel and hang out with my girl and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, she just needs time to calm down, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not really gonna say much about, you know, her or it or the situation. My mom and I talk a little bit throughout these next few months, but it's not that much. We might have a conversation here or there, but it's not to where we're holding full-blown conversations and I know about your day and she knows about my day. Like, nah. And then it really got to the point like we wouldn't even speak on some days. May 22nd of 2016, I remember being on the phone with my girlfriend in my room, like blah blah blah, chilling. Because at the time I was working 2 jobs. So, you know, I'm trying to get up out of my mom's place, you know. I would have been out a couple years before that, but then I had lost a job, so it set me back. But I'm like, I'm trying to make moves to get up out of here, you feel me? And she was like, you on the phone? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay, no problem. And I'm like, what? Because what the heck? Like, you just don't ask somebody if they're on the phone, you say, okay, no problem. Like, what's going on? So I'm like, girl, hold on. Let me go find out what's going on. So I go to my mom's room and I'm like, hey, what's up? You good? And she's like, no, I'll tell you later. We talk later. I'm like, just say it now. Like, what's going on? And this is when my mom was pretty much like, I need you out of my house. Like, you can't continue to live here and have a girlfriend. And I'm like, what? And she's like, you can't continue to live here and have a girlfriend. Like, I cannot stand to see you happy while I've been in this house miserable, watching you walk around like nothing in the world matters, blah blah blah, and I'm here miserable. And in my mind, I'm like, she ain't just say that, Lord, she ain't just say that. But she really did. She really did say, like, I gotta get up out of our house because she didn't like the fact I had a girlfriend. So I'm like, you dead ass. And she's like, yeah, I'm serious. I'm giving you a month to get your stuff and get out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. So I leave my mom's room. I come back on the phone with my girl. And I'm like, oh, my mom just kicked me out. And she was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah. And I started to tell her what happened. Like, you know, she told me that she didn't like that we're together, and she didn't, you know, like the fact that I had a girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. And I thought we was cool this whole point. I really thought like me and my mom was cool. I didn't really think we was like clicking, but I thought we was cordial enough to where this wouldn't even happen. But I guess she felt a certain way about me and my energy. So she was like, nah, you gotta go. And I'm like, okay. So I'm telling her. And I'm like crying at this point. Because it's just like, dang, I'm an only child, y'all. I'm an only freaking child. So for my mom to kick me out her house because I had a girlfriend is like, dang, you didn't really care about me. You care about your image. You feel me? You care about your little image that you were trying to portray to people. And so I told my girl, she's like, we're gonna figure this out, blah blah blah, don't worry about it. Like, I understand it's a lot right now, but we're gonna figure it out, blah blah, XYZ. And I said, okay. So I go to sleep. I think I wake up the next morning, like cry a little bit more, and then I stop. And I'm like, okay, you've cried enough. What are you gonna do about it? And that next month, it was really me and her trying to figure out what's the best thing to do. Then I was telling all my friends what happened, and they're like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I wish I could help you, but I can't. You know, friends, like those friends I couldn't move in with them, so they couldn't offer that because they were still living with their parents. And then the one friend that did offer me to move in with her was like, you can move with me, but you can only stay with me for a month. And to me, that wasn't realistic. Because one, it was her and her boyfriend, so I really didn't want to stay with her and her boyfriend. And then two, like, she's trying to tell me I only have a month, but I didn't have the money I needed to have to be there with you for a month and then to find the places and stuff like that. Like, I knew it wasn't gonna work for me. And so then my girlfriend told her parents, and they have this house, so like boom boom boom, they have the house. And so they're like, just have her come stay with us. And she tells me, and I'm like, no, I can't do that. Like, I really can't do that, because I've only been with this girl for now like maybe 4 or 5 months. Like, I know you, but damn, I don't know you, you know. And I only met your parents and them once, so it's like, what? But I will forever be thankful and grateful that they even opened their home to me for a whole year after I moved in with them. Like, and it was just so different living with them, because like they were a Jewish family, so it's like certain rules and stuff I had to follow when I was there, and just trying to be respectful of their traditions and their home and stuff like that to the best of my ability. And I forever will be grateful that they let me into their house. Forever will be grateful for that. And so I, of course, after a while of like just trying not to push it on them like that, I say, okay, cool, because at this point I'm running out of time. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I don't have enough money for an apartment yet. Like, I'm running out of time. So I say yes. And I start everything I need to start. I start buying boxes. I start transferring paperwork to move my job from Brooklyn to the Bronx because that's where I was going to be at, in the Bronx. So moved that, made that transition over there. Then I started to pack up stuff. I started to tell friends where I was going and who I was going with. You know, just tying up loose ends in Brooklyn, because at this point it was no way that I was gonna commute back and forth to where she was in the Bronx. That was probably like a 2-hour commute, and there was no way I was doing that 2-hour commute from Brooklyn to the Bronx. But when I transferred my job, like literally the job was like 10 minutes away from her house. So I was like, oh bet, that's where I'm gonna go. Like, cause the other branch, cause I used to work at a gym, so the other branch that was in Brooklyn, the other branch in the Bronx was 10 minutes away from the house. So I'm like, oh shoot, cool, like I'm going there. So I did all of that, blah, 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 XYZ. And so on June 30th, 2016, when I left that apartment, that was the last day in the apartment, the only thing my mom said was like, you know, you're not taking the bed, you're not taking the TV, just take your clothes and that's it. Like anything else that's in here, anything else that I paid for really that was expensive, you're not taking. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever, like cool. She's like, don't take no bag, don't take no iPad, don't take nothing. Like she was really like, don't take shit. And I was like, okay, cool. Like all I need is the clothes anyway, like cool, I'm good. And so on the last day, I'm gonna put the pictures in. Let me get my, hold on. All right, so right now, the last day that I was there, I put these, this is how I left. I put these photos in any of the videos that I've been in, that I've done before on my coming out story, but this is how I left the apartment and this is what I did. So this first photo here is just how I had like my little stuff in this shopping cart, and then just like clothes. I don't remember like what was in these little things, but there was probably like jewelry, stuff like that. Back then I was really big on jewelry, so like I'm sure the purple and the square box had like jewelry in it, and then the red box just had like little personal trinkets and stuff like that. This next photo was taken in the room that I used to reside in, and with lipstick I just wrote love is love, because I wanted her to know that like, you may not agree with the kind of love that I'm living right now, the kind of love that I have, but love is love no matter what. This next photo, I was in the bathroom and I just wrote like goodbye, 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 goodbye forever, because that's how I felt. I felt like, yo, you couldn't accept me like this, like you couldn't accept who I am, then like, yo, goodbye, like goodbye forever, like this is it, this is the end. You don't accept me, you don't love me, so like good fucking bye. Then I had this glass desk in my room, and this glass desk I also took lipstick and just for like courage, beauty, I have strength, happiness, love is love, confidence, kinda lived here, because again I just wanted to show and wanted to let her understand that like, yeah, I might be in a weak space right now, but everything that I feel, that I love, that how I do is just, it's regular. Like I'm just loving another human, and I'm gonna still have my power about me regardless if you want to be in my life or not. So that was that. Then I wrote life on the side of this like little thing right here, the little desk. I just wrote life. And then this last photo was like just a length mirror, and I wrote gay is okay, nothing is wrong. And that's what it is. Gay is okay and nothing is wrong. Like I felt like she was treating me like something was wrong, like something was wrong with me. Like, oh, you want to be with a woman? Oh, you don't want kids? Oh, you don't want this, you don't want that? And I'm just like, no, I don't want any of that, especially at this moment in my life, you know. And I remember asking her like, yo, like if I start dating a guy again, could we come back? And she was like, no, because you just let me know that you let somebody control your mind, and now that you dating a guy again, that you just don't know what you want to do, blah blah blah, so no. And I'm like, oh, so you really just mad that I let somebody eat my puss? Like that's what it is. You really just mad that I let a woman go down and chew the cat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it felt like. So within that space, within that like month-long packing and month-long figuring out where to go and month-long like hurt, anger and stuff, it was just like, bro. And then on top of that, I still had to go to work. I still had to run races. I still had to work out. I still had to do this. I still had to do that. Ain't nobody know what you're going through. Ain't nobody know that you're getting kicked out of your motherfucking house. Like, ain't nobody know that. I just gotta show up and do what I gotta do regardless of what's going on in my personal life. Like, nobody knew none of that. So it's like, dang, you know? So all in all, everything to say, like, that's my coming out story. At this point, I think it's like 4 or 5 years later now. I really don't have much communication or conversation with my mom. Like, nah, it's none of that. I think she's been trying to reach out on Facebook through Messenger, but I don't even really check my Messenger like that. The last couple videos you saw, somebody else was trying to reach out to me, but I'm not really checking my Messenger like that, so I gotta open it, whatever. But I'm not pressed to talk to people now, because when I wanted people to talk to me, nobody was talking to me. So everybody want to talk to me, blah blah blah, and try to act like nothing happened. I'm not doing that. Like, if you want to be in my life, you need to address what happened, and then we can move forward. But that whole, oh, it's been 5 years since people under the rug, like, no, I'm not doing that. That is my coming out story. Again, not the best, but it is mine. I do what I gotta do and live how I gotta live from this point forward. So I hope you guys just got something out of this video. Like, I know my situation is not the best, but you make the best out of every situation that is being dealt to you. But I'm gonna end this video right here because I think I only got a few minutes left on my camera card, and I don't want the video to cut out and be a weird ending. So thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel, turn on post notifications, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Yeah, that is about it. Go ahead and follow me on all my social medias at TheKyannaSimone. However, if you follow me on my social medias and they're not TheKyannaSimone, it's because I am going to change all my names to TheKyannaAlexandra. So don't be shocked when you look for TheKyannaSimone and you see TheKyannaAlexandra. Like, I'm still the same person. I'm just switching everything over. And you'll see that as, you know, weeks progress. But yes, also go ahead and follow and shop my resin shop called The Golden Egotist. You can find it at TheKyannaSimone / The Golden Egotist to shop all your resin glamour needs. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.